peace in Palestine.
Think so.
But can I say some stuff about Britain and America? It's actually very important to address, particularly given that both of our audiences are kind of mixed around those two things. So America and Britain, because we speak the same language, we think that we're the same. I think you'd agree with me that we're really, really not on so many different things.
That's correct.
That saying about Britain and America, two countries divided by a common language. So America, and this is something that actually very few people really understand, particularly those who haven't been to America. America is an incredibly pro-immigration country. It's probably, in my experience, the most pro-immigration country that I've ever been to in the world.
I would agree.
Right? However, Americans don't like illegal immigration, particularly when it gets to the levels that it had got to for a period of time. So the American attitude, broadly speaking, there are, of course, there's a spectrum of opinion. But if you were to kind of go, what is the broad consensus in the US? I would put it, based on my experience, Americans are broadly like, we are a country of immigrants. That's how this country came into being. And as long as you want to come here and buy into the American dream, respect the flag, respect the Constitution, respect the way of doing things, contribute, set up your own business, do whatever, then that's great. And I know that I'm sure you've experienced this. Like, I remember there was a point, like, people were saying to us, oh, you guys should move to America. And we were kind of thinking about it. And anyone that I ever mentioned the possibility of that who was American, they were like, we'd love to have you. Mm-hmm. And they didn't mean me or Francis. They just meant people like you, people who are going to come here with their own thing and contribute. Right?
I like this one.
Okay, ironically, this is something that I do agree about. The numbers of immigration is just unsustainable, and it's absolutely huge, and it needs to be controlled. I think there's room for some sensible debate in that, but we need to strip away all the disingenuous conversation. And one of those is all about the boats. Now, the boats are a tiny fraction of that total, and every single one of those is more likely than not to end up legal just because of the treaties that we signed up for until we know the outcome of their application, and they'll be dealt with accordingly. But aside from that red herring, what we need to have is a sensible conversation about all forms of immigration, including legal immigration, and think about what we can sensibly do to limit it. Whether that's a points-based system and the other things that have been vaunted, then fair enough. That's the conversation that we need to have, but not a conversation which gives overtones of Enoch Powell, which is immigration status based on an assumption about the colour of your skin. And they could be from anywhere, which is not necessarily British, which still come into the country unnoticed, which makes the facade of the whole thing pointless. You know the drill. The full video that I've just talked about is going to be round about here towards the bottom of the screen if you're on a mobile. Otherwise, the link's going to be in the description or the comments.